During the trial, as the jury was in deliberations awaiting a verdict, a major moment occurred behind the scenes. The jurors sent a note to the judge asking an important question: what happens if we cannot come to a unanimous decision? The jury explained that they were completely split and unable to agree on a verdict. The judge was reportedly unhappy about this and brought the jury back into the courtroom. He then read them a formal message, instructing them to continue deliberating and reminding them of their duty to reach a verdict if possible.
It reads as follows: I know that all of you have worked hard to try to find a verdict in this case. It apparently has been impossible for you so far. Sometimes an early vote before discussion can make it hard to reach an agreement about the case later. The vote, not the discussion, might make it hard to see all sides of the case. We are all aware that it's legally permissible for a jury to disagree. There are two things a jury can lawfully do: agree on a verdict or disagree on the facts of the case. There are two things that a jury can lawfully do: agree on a verdict or disagree on what the facts of the case may truly be. There is nothing to disagree about on the law. The law is as I told you.
After delivering that message, the judge explained what would happen if the jury still failed to agree.
After you have done that, if you simply cannot reach a verdict, then return to the courtroom and I will declare this case mistried and will you with my sincere appreciation for your services. Ladies and gentlemen, you may now retire and continue with your deliberation.
For those confused by what this meant, reports later clarified the situation. Eventually, the judge could declare a mistrial, forcing the state to decide whether it wanted to retry YNW Melly with a brand new jury. If that happened, Melly would likely remain behind bars until a new trial date was set. This outcome was later broken down by a well-known rap industry defense attorney.
So the jury just came back with a very interesting question in the YNW Melly case. What did they ask? They said, what happens if we can't reach a decision? Well, you're going to have a mistrial. If the jury is blocked and they just can't come to a unanimous decision, the decisions have to be unanimous. You can't get convicted or acquitted with only 10 jurors or 11 jurors. In the state of Oregon, I believe you can. But in Florida, you got to get all 12. And so here, thanks, bro. We're going to see what happens here. I don't know what's going to happen. I think you're going to get jury, and I think then the case gets retried. At some point, the judge can also give something called an Allen charge, which is basically he just yells at the jury and he's like, do you have any idea how much time and money we have spent bringing this trial and all this evidence to you? And at this time right now, you now need to go and make a decision. That's on the way.
As the trial continued, more reports surfaced about the jury's confusion and internal disagreements. This led a famous rap lawyer to interview high-profile defense attorney Drew Fit, a billion-dollar lawyer who has represented Cardi B, Migos, Gucci Mane, and Waka Flocka Flame. Findling gave deeper insight into how the YNW Melly case was unfolding.
Trial. And all the evidence is in, the jury goes out, and then a couple hours into the deliberation, they come back, they ask the judge, hey, Your Honor, what happens if we just can't reach a decision? What's your thought? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, so look, anytime you have a jury what's called hunt, you can't put the jury in a position of getting an Allen charge, which is called a dynamite charge. You don't want to force a jury to make a decision. If a jury is unable to make a decision, you have to learn to accept it. That's the golden rule. Anybody that says otherwise has not tried a whole lot of cases.
Do you think it's a good thing for the defendant when the question comes back, hey, you can't reach a verdict, or is that kind of an honest?
Yeah, it goes both ways. I mean, I've had 11-1 for guilty, 11-1 for not guilty. You can't start doing guessing names. You can't say, well, I put up one juror, the way you look at the ground, the way she looked at me. You can't do that. You never want to concede to a dynamite charge.
It was later revealed why the jury was so divided. The trial lasted 3 to 4 weeks, making it difficult for jurors to remember every detail of the evidence. On top of that, the closing arguments from both sides added even more confusion in the final moments. YNW Melly's defense team went first, presenting arguments that many found complicated and unconventional.
Even though the Jeep was searched for hours and hours, processed for hours and hours, he finds additional evidence. 2 projectiles that everyone else missed. Important. and that when he did his analysis, two important things occurred. He didn't go in there blindly to do any analysis. He told you that the prosecutors in this case told them that the defendant in this case was a man. And we need you to do a trajectory analysis to put him on the scene.
Melly's lawyer openly mocked the testimony of Sergeant Michael Williams, the forensic expert responsible for analyzing the bullet damage to the vehicle. Sergeant Williams had testified that the shooting could not have been a drive-by.
Which is to determine if this is a drive. And my determination was that this is not a drive-by. And it's based upon this picture here, which is a very good picture to describe it. All of these rounds are done. One is done at a stationary position. At a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that to create the little bit of that you see there.
Okay, a lot of information in that, Andrew. Let's bring it down a little bit. You mentioned so I'm gonna zoom in on site.
Sergeant Williams' testimony was presented during the second week of trial, but by week 4, jurors reportedly struggled to remember it. Many forgot that Williams documented every bullet hole in the vehicle and used the rod and string method to determine the angle and origin of the shots.
You said 17 outside the car. How many rounds were inside the car?
3.
And can you exclude for Mr. Williams and Mr. Thomas is coming from outside the car?
Yes. From the driver's side back seat.
As to Christopher Thomas, where did that originate?
Driver's side back seat.
No. Is it possible for there to have been 2 inside that car?
No.
Why not?
There is no time.
Melly's lawyers strongly disagreed with Sergeant Williams' analysis. This led to an emotional outburst in court, with the defense arguing that the jury was being asked to decide Melly's fate with what they believed was weak and confusing evidence, something the jury was clearly struggling with.
Tell him that he's going to live life in the state penitentiary without parole or be on parole. This is the investigation they want you to rely upon and say it's proof beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt? I guess so, according to that.
The defense then raised another major issue. If the crime was initially reported as a drive-by, why did police never review surveillance footage from nearby businesses or track license plates in the area?
He doesn't go to on Miramar Parkway to check their surveillance tape. He doesn't go to Applebee's to check their surveillance tape. He doesn't go to Polo Tropical or the gas station or the bank on Miramar Parkway to check their surveillance tapes. When the car's on 184th Avenue, he doesn't go to the fire station to check their surveillance tapes. Doesn't go back to the 2 elementary schools, Sunset Lakes and West Broward Elementary, to check their surveillance tape because he knows it all. He knows it. How do you know it if you don't check?
Many believe this was a fair criticism. Law enforcement never fully accepted Y&W, Portland's original claim of a drive-by, and instead focused on the group almost immediately. Some argue this was because Portland appeared to be lying during his interview, something viewers later pointed out based on his body language and inconsistencies.
I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm gonna be worried about it. You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit, crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here from when you guys opened the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now, there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
The prosecution then delivered their closing arguments, claiming YNW Melly had a possible motive for the murders.
They were buddies since they grew up. But look at the stress being placed on this defendant as the only one bringing the money in, as the only person who's paying the bills. Look at the tension on there, right? Look at the issues and concerns with Mr. Williams, Anthony Williams, and the defendant's mother. That they're the messages on there to that effect. So look at her. You can also look at the manner in which the was committed.
A new angle from a music video filmed later on the day of the crime was shown. In a single frame, the FBI identified what appeared to be YNW Melly's cell phone inside his jeans pocket, despite claims that he lost his phone the night of the shooting.
October 26th of 2018. Sun's going down. And the defendant's phone also shows him at this location in Cocoa. And he is dancing and singing and performing, wearing the same jacket, an identical jacket to what Chris Thomas was wearing the night before, and showing Mr. Henry wearing the denim jacket, like Mr. Williams was wearing the night before. And so the question was posed about a contractual agreement and losing money to do that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, look at the text messages between Mr. Devins and his mother. Because he wasn't worried a couple of months before about missing a show because he was getting his hair braided.
This detail was critical because Adrien Davis, Melly's best friend since 6th grade, testified that Melly lost his phone that night. The video appeared to contradict that statement. On the final day of trial, prosecutors introduced another key claim, 100K track. The label executive was allegedly sitting on a $16 million deal. Prosecutors argued Melly may have committed the crime to avoid splitting the money for ways between himself, YNW Bortland, YNW Sa and YNW Juvie.
You heard $16 million was coming into Jameson Francois, and that you saw $15,000, $10,000 payments going to Mr. Devins. Simple math. Splitting something 4 ways or 2 ways with Mr. Henry, who wasn't smart enough to even properly give a statement to keep Mr. Devins away from the car.
The prosecution ended with a powerful and emotional message designed to stay in the jurors.
The question that you have to answer, and that you can now answer based on all of this evidence, is that Jamel Devins was sitting in the back seat of that Jeep. And he was the one that Christopher Thomas and Anthony Williams. And you know that because even if you choose to disbelieve one part of the evidence, 2 parts of the evidence, you can see what the overall picture is. The overall picture puts Mr. Devins in the backseat of that Jeep. It puts him holding, you know, to know that he committed these 2 crimes.
Despite everything, Melly's strongest defense centered around Adrien Davis.
It's all about Davis's testimony. I mean, they called him witness. The question is, was he believable? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that his demeanor was great on the stand. I don't think he got overly emotional. I don't think he got combative with a very combative district attorney, which is always helpful. I think the biggest issue that they're going to have is what's his motive to lie, right? That's any eyewitness that you have. What is their motive to lie? Why should the jury believe them over the science they heard for weeks prior? And I think that's going to be the larger issue, his friendship with Melly, and how can the prosecution frame that as the reason that he would have to come in and lie to the jury. But as far as how he testified, his demeanor, the way that he held up under cross, I think he did a great job.
Davis testified that Melly was not at the crime scene and provided the first clear alibi presented in the case. However, YNW Juvie's mother, who was present in court, publicly accused Davis of lying on social media.
Are you 100% sure that Melly got into the red Mitsubishi to go home?
Yes.
Are you 100% sure that this young man learned of his friends at the exact same time you learned of it?
Yes.
And that was at the house?
Yes.
Are you 100% sure that when people were getting on the phone, that this young man was looking for his phone to call people?
Yes.
Davis doubled down on his story, claiming Melly was picked up by YNW members in a red vehicle and later dropped off at the YNW house because they needed someone with house keys to let them inside.
So the only two people you know who had a key to the house was this young man and Cortland Henry.
Yeah.
Did you see this young man unlock the door of the house?
Yes.
Who was the last person to get out of the red Mitsubishi to go inside the house?
Trayvon, he was in the cockpit asleep.
Did you see where Melly went?
To the room.
And where was his bedroom?
When we first walked in the house, came message right down the left.
Okay. This is the 1 or 2 story now.
2.
He testified that he personally watched Melly enter the house, go to his bedroom, and fall asleep during the time of the crime. Davis stated Melly never left the house that night. Later, the house received a phone call informing them of the shooting. Everyone woke up screaming and panicking.
There come a time in the early morning hours that you were woken up and heard some distressing news.
Oh, yes.
What did you hear?
The second Jew.
When you heard that, did you see Melly in the house?
Yes.
Did you see Melly how he was dressed in the house?
Yes.
What was he wearing?
Shorts and t-shirt.
Davis said Melly came out of his bedroom, wearing a t-shirt and shorts, and learned about the alleged drive-by along with everyone else. He also described the emotional chaos inside the house.
Upon hearing that Sack and Juvie were... What did you guys do?
We were already drinking still, so we just left out Fredo's house.
Was anybody upset or crying?
Yeah, we all were crying.
Was this young man crying?
Yes.
Are you sure of that?
Positive.
And where'd you go?
Fredo's house.
Did there come a time after you got to the house of Fredo Bang that Cortland Henry showed up?
Yeah.
Did Cortland Henry tell you all what happened?
Yeah, he said,
Davis claimed Melly was crying, which convinced many supporters of his innocence. Soon after, several major rappers began reacting publicly. Drake resurfaced past comments about Melly.
A kid like YNW Melly, who just has the craziest melodies, pain in his voice, you know, but not afraid to just be like, yeah, sure, like I might be this way on road, but in my music, this is what I enjoy doing.
Kodak Black spoke about Melly and shared personal memories with him.
Yo, man, free that boy Melvin, man. Free Melly. Yo, man, stop, man. We not playing like that. Oh, we go for
Lil Durk posted a jail phone call with YNW Melly on Instagram, which also included King Von, further showing industry support.
Bust you got 10 pieces. It wasn't out of the man. Just me. Let's go.
Better tip me.
In the end, YNW Melly's fate rested in the hands of a divided jury, leaving his future uncertain and the truth still hotly debated.